This is Van Jones talking about how last night's win, black women's dreams were crushed. Let's play SOT number 4.
Because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite who are hurting tonight. There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months. And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt. And they were hoping that maybe this time, one of their own could be seen as worthy. And once again, they were facing rejection. And that hurts. They thought tomorrow morning they're going to walk out with their shoulders back a little bit, maybe able to breathe for the first time and feel like they belong someplace. They did everything that they knew how to do. And it's going to be harder than it should be tomorrow for them to hold their heads up. And they're not the only people who are hurting tonight. If you're a parent of a trans kid, your child's face was used as a springboard to power for somebody. That doesn't feel good. There are going to be people tomorrow, we're going to be handing clothes at the dry cleaners to people who don't have papers. There are going to be people who are going to be cleaning your teeth tomorrow who don't have papers. And they're terrified tonight. And so it's easy to blow this off. Oh, look at the elites. They're going to get their comeuppance. It's not the elite that's going to pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare. And those people didn't deserve to be respected and held and talked to. Those are the people who are going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
Yeah, but Van, how do we know that those people didn't vote? A large portion of those people aren't part of the people that elected Donald Trump. Well, right? I think that's a good part of the electorate. And the black women, the party, the Democratic Party, let those black women down. Not Donald Trump.
As it relates to the black woman part of this with Van Jones, this is to me, it comes from a place of guilt that he married a white woman, and so he has to go on TV and act like he's ride or die with black women. He can't keep it real. And so he think, well, I know I didn't marry one. I know I don't want one. I know I wouldn't be caught dead with one, but let me go on TV and pretend like, oh, I'm in so much pain. This Indian woman who ain't black didn't get to be president, and I know you black women are crushed. It's all in. I can't stand Van Jones. I can't stand the tone. There are women who are crushed today. He goes into full little high-pitched Barry White voice. It's probably the way he talks to white women when he's bedding them. And so let me give the black woman a little taste of how I talk to these snow bunnies. I'm trying to just keep it true. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Van Jones needed a pair of little dangly earrings with a ball on on the end, because they certainly aren't where they're supposed to be. And when he talks about the economic dreams being crushed, they've been crushed for the last few years. Every time we pulled up to the gas pump, every time we pulled up to the grocery store to have to feed our families, our economic dreams have been crushed. So I don't know what he's talking about when he talks about being rejected. You know who is going to be rejected, Jason? While he's sitting on TV, his wife is somewhere being nailed to the cross by a man that actually has a pair of balls. That's who's being rejected, him. Because that was the weakest, wussest thing I have seen in a long time.
Joy Reid, who I love to call Racial Maddow, she also, had some harsh words for white women. And she played the race card like they all do. Let's play SOT number 3. Let's hear from Joy Reid.
It's a state that I think Democrats definitely were reaching for. There was a lot of work to try to turn out the college campuses, which were really thick and really packed, and try to turn out the suburbs. And I think there was a lot of hope because of just the insanity, can we say fairly, of the person who's running for governor in that state, and a thought that, defeating him would also carry Harris in. But in the end, if they didn't make their numbers and essentially exceed the numbers that Joe Biden had in the suburbs, and I think we have to be blunt about why. Black voters came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. That is what it appears happened in that state, is that if you can't flip enough white women, and we've talked about this on this set numerous times, is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks.
Yep.
But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And, God bless Shannon Watts, who has tried to have that conversation. But if people aren't receptive to it, and if people vote more party line or more on race than on gender and on protecting their gender, there's really not much more that you can do but tell people what the risks are and leave it to them to do the right thing.
Let me translate what she's saying here, just because these people struggle with keeping it real. She's arguing white women in North Carolina and just white women in general let down the feminists who want to tear down the patriarchy. She said something about how they interact with the patriarchy. What she's really saying is, hey man, these white women won't get on board with tearing down the patriarchy. And so what she's really saying is, hey man, there's these white women with this biblical worldview that believe in male leadership, and they won't help us tear down Christianity and a biblical worldview, and I'm irate about it. That's what she's actually saying.
Yeah, and let's not overlook her hair, Jason. She looks like a toasted Tweety Bird. I don't know what's going on with that. Like, I thought I saw a putty tat. I did. Yes, she's upset that these white women won't get with this whole I don't need a man that black women have been doing. They may stand up and claim to be feminists, but white women, they understand where it comes from. They understand they need their man. We are the only demographic of women, black women, who feel like we're supposed to run everything and we don't value our men. We don't hear white women saying, I don't need a man. We don't hear Indian women, as Kamala is. We don't hear Asians or Hispanics. It's only black women with this whole butch dyke ideology that push that. So yes, they're not going to go to the lengths that we are, Joy. So it's just really time for us to get on board with them, opposed to them trying to get on board with us, because we can see what it's done for us, and it hasn't been good.
I want to play, this is a panel of CNN hosts. This is SOT number 7. Talking about how racism and sexism was prevalent in the vote. They don't have anything new to say, and maybe it's too high of an expectation to think that they could pivot on November 5th, November 6th. But at some point, they got to pivot. They got to find a new card to play because it was racism, it was sexism. Let's play SOT 7.
Let's be honest about this, okay? Let's be absolutely blunt about it. There were appeals to racism in this campaign, and there is racial bias in this country, and there is sexism in this country. And anybody who thinks that that did not in any way impact on the outcome of this race is wrong.
Can you imagine a woman of color acting like Donald Trump acted, even for one day? The kinds of stuff that he said, the kinds of things that he did, the way that he would insult people. If you're a person of color, you don't feel like you have that freedom. You feel like you really are somewhat constrained. You're always running something in the back of your mind like, how am I going to be perceived? And also, if I say this, will they think that all black people are this way or all women are this way? So there's a license that he had to just be a fool, just to be an obnoxious ass to everyone. And for people to go, well, he can still be president.
This is where I'm talking about. They won't pivot, and CNN and corporate media, y'all got to put someone on that panel that will say, hey, Van, cut it out. We don't, and again, put me on there and I would say it just how it is. Man, Van, we watched Negroes run wild in the street, looting and burning down everything, thinking they weren't accountable to anything or anybody, didn't have to answer to God, didn't have to answer to their mama. And now you want to say Trump and some tweets and a few words are an example of, oh my God, he's not accountable and he just says anything, and no black woman would ever. I'm like, man, did you see Gorilla and Cardi B and all these other out of control, wild people that are being platformed like they're important people, and you're telling me that Donald Trump is playing by a special set of rules? And I know those people aren't running for president, but this decorum and professionalism and all this other stuff that we're holding Donald Trump to, while nobody else gets held to that standard, and they get invited to be involved with politics, to be surrogates. They're getting paychecks. They're getting put front and center like they're people you should respect and honor and care about what they think. They put out music that is so much more depraved and demonic than anything Donald Trump has said. I just don't know how he has the audacity to do that, and I don't understand. Well, I do understand why, but I mean, CNN, these networks, put somebody on TV that will call these Negroes and, to quote AB, some of these ignorant crackers, they got to be called out in real time in front of everybody. They can't just say any and everything, and we got to pretend and go along with it like we don't live in reality. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.